Hey everyone, welcome to the Southside Beat here on DK Pittsburgh Sports. Chris Halicke, Matt Williamson here to talk Steelers football. This episode is presented by FanDuel, so we appreciate you guys tuning in and watching. Matt, this Steelers team, they are now 6-5? Yeah, 6-5 through 11 games. Consistency is hard to come by. I think this last game against the Bears at Soldier Field in Chicago is a great example of that. What are some of your biggest concerns with this football team? Because I've got quite a bit of a list here, but I'm curious to get your perspective on this.
Yeah, I definitely have concerns. There's no question about that. Now, I'm not excusing it away, but I kind of want to have a general, discussion, statement, whatever. More than I can remember, this league is week to week. I mean, the league. I mean, the AFC is an unbelievable example of that. Thanksgiving games are an unbelievable example of that. I don't even know who's good in the AFC right now. I don't know who's good, or if anyone's good in the AFC North in particular. And it's what the league wants. They don't want dominant teams. They want everyone to tune in. They don't want garbage teams, and there are some of those. And that is a league-wide trend. I mean, the Bills are a great example as well. I mean, they have Josh Allen, and how could they be so week to week? And, their performance against the Texans. Whoa. I mean, they got sacked a million times. They got embarrassed on national TV. How does that happen? But I think it's a league-wide trend. But there might not be a more week-to-week team than the Steelers.
No, it's so true.
Yeah.
I was having a conversation with my dad yesterday. My dad's he grew up a Steelers fan, longtime Steelers fan.
Yeah.
And he's talking about the team, and I'm like, of course, there's a lot of fans are very pessimistic going into a game against Josh Allen and the Bills.
Right, I get it.
And I'm like, I understand that. But at the end of the show, as we typically do, we'll do our predictions. And I can tell you right now, we're shooting this live. As I sit here right now, I don't know who I'm going to predict. I really, I don't. Just because I don't know.
I had to an hour ago, and
yeah,
and I was the same way up until the last second.
I just don't know what to expect this team, because they can show up like they did against the Colts and the second game against the Bengals and shut down two very, very explosive, good, very dangerous offenses. Mm-hmm. And then they can go out there like they did this past week against Caleb Williams, who was not good in that game.
Correct. And
still just give up so many chunk plays, so many yards, and obviously points. And I don't know what to make of the team at this point, because it feels like it really is an any given Sunday thing. I feel like that when the Steelers are playing their best, when we've seen them at their best, I do feel like they can beat almost any team in the NFL.
Yeah.
It's not just a whole, any given Sunday, teams get lucky. No, when they're playing their best, when they're running the football well, when they're not, just doing nothing but dink and dunk, when they're trying to get at least the catch and run stuff underneath on offense, and when they're doing a great job of clogging up zones long enough for the pass rush to get there on defense, they're not giving up the big chunk plays on defense. They can beat just about any team in the league right now, but that's just so not necessarily hard to come by, but you don't know when you're going to get it. And that's what makes it so difficult to put this team in any kind of what's the true barometer? There is none. There's not an accurate one, at least.
Yeah, and I think a lot of it is all four phases: run offense, run defense, pass offense, pass defense, have each had their moments. Right now, I'm pretty happy with what Steeler run game is at. I haven't said that for much of the season.
I'm still not quite where I want it to be.
Yeah, I'd like it to be better, but it's
at
least trending the right direction.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
I'm happier than I have been where the Steeler run defense is at this moment. I mean, it's not perfect either.
They at least, they're doing some things like this past week against the Bears. The Bears at one point in the second half just completely abandoned trying to run the ball.
Yeah.
They didn't even try. They were just like, We're doing it. We're doing enough with it. It's not as, the success rate isn't all that high, but when we're getting chunks through the air, we're getting chunks. We're not just moving the sticks. We're getting 20 yards. We're getting 25 yards. We're getting 17 yards. We're getting
everything I dial up works. Why would I?
Exactly. And the only time we're missing is when Caleb Williams isn't accurate, which again, if that were a different quarterback, like some people might hear it who are a little bit more pessimistic, and that's fine. Again, it's not like this is a terrible football team, but if that quarterback were any better, like if that were
Burrow right,
that game's not close. It's just not close. Caleb Williams missed so many throws in that game.
That's the only thing that stopped drives.
Yeah, really.
Really, it was just
Yeah.
But my point was with all four phases, at no point has even three of the four peaked. Like, okay, this is kind of good, or this is good, but man, the pass defense was terrible today, or like always one of the four is flat out bad, and not always is one of the four flat out good. I definitely think there is some week to weakness of this team based on being so reliant on defense on splash, and they have been for a while, and it's not ideal, but they're really good at getting splash. For sure. And I also think schematically, you have to have some questions about both sides of the ball too. Just the way they play football in today's NFL.
Yeah, I think. Listen, I have had conversations with players on the inside, and that even includes today. I was on the south side today covering practice, and had a couple. Just again, this is not with a recorder in hand, so I'm not saying who it was. I'm not giving details of the conversation, but there is frustration from a player perspective on the schematics. What Patrick Queen said after the game. About, questioning the schematics pretty much. That's not just a one person thing.
Yeah, he's not a lone wolf on that.
No. And the thing is, I'm very curious, and I understand we're only talking about the defensive side of the ball because it's not like the offense has been all that great either. But on the defensive side, I feel like, well, first off, I preface this by saying, by focusing on the defense, because if this team was going to go anywhere this season, it was going to be because the defense was great.
I think there's better football players on defense than offense.
Well, yeah, and that's the other part of it is
right.
That's the other part of it is that, like, when you look at where the Steelers rank, well, they rank, I think, like 11th in scoring, and they're doing that in spite of the running game being
not very productive.
They ran for 186 yards against the Bears, but at the same time,
I meant for this season. But yeah.
Oh no, yeah, of course. But I think the biggest issue with the run game is that this is a running team that doesn't want to commit to running the ball.
Yeah, right.
And that's the thing that kind of flabbergasts me.
It's like being a tight end centric passing game, but you don't throw in the middle of the field.
Yeah, that's the other part of it.
You know what I mean?
That's the other part of it.
Well, why are you so tight end centric if you're to throw in the middle of the field? Exactly right.
And it's not like just so that people understand, like I think what was it? Like some people might think like the whole using a lot of tight ends is just an Arthur Smith thing, that it's not something that's productive in 2025. Sean McVay is using more tight ends than the Steelers are.
And they're the best team in the league.
And they're arguably the best team in the league, and they're a top 5 offense, in both total offense and scoring.
The whole league is trending towards more 12 and 13 and extra O-line.
Yeah.
The Bills led the league in extra O-line last year, and they were the best offense in the league.
Right. So it's not like the extra tight end or using multiple tight ends on a consistent basis is wrong. If anything, the Steelers are what I would actually consider part of the teams that are kind of ahead of the trend a bit, because this season has kind of been the first year we've seen more and more teams adopt it. And that includes the Rams, by the way. That just goes to show how good of a coach McVay is.
Yeah, he is.
But at the same time,
I couldn't quite call them cutting edge, but they are ahead of.
Yeah. No, it's not cutting edge, but they are ahead of that trend of. Yeah. I think that's probably where Arthur Smith, he likes to use larger personnel, and he's oh, this is becoming more of a trend. Well, great. That's right in my wheelhouse, and he'll just continue to expand on that. But yeah, it's the way it's being used. And when we're talking about running the ball, like I saw watching the Thanksgiving games yesterday, watching what the Chiefs had been doing before that game in terms of how often they were running the ball and how it was being successful for them, how they were running 30 plus times a game. I don't even has there been a game this year in which, or I won't say a game, because I think it actually happened last week, which ironically enough, they ran for 186 yards. But I'm trying to think of a time in which both Jaylen Warren and Kenneth Gainwell combined for 30 plus carries. Like, how often has that happened?
I would bet it's only last week.
That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah. And if it has happened other than that, I'd be shocked if it's more than one other time.
Yeah.
Like, I just don't.
They got the 31 or something.
And right. Then you can talk about also like the way they're rotated. Like, I don't think there's a much rhyme or reason to it. It's, we like Gainwell on this particular run I want to call. Well, we've
also talked the third down stuff to death too.
Like, yeah.
Why is I don't know if you saw the stat I threw out there, but in the last 50 third down plays they've had, 40 of them have been Gainwell.
Oh, God.
And Warren's one of the best third down backs in the league.
Yeah,
not that Gainwell's bad at it, but
no.
Why does it have to be third down?
Yeah, right? That's why I think it would behoove the Steelers, and we can go on this, expand on this a little bit when we come back from the break. But it would behoove the Steelers to go with more of this is a Jaylen Warren series, and then this is a Kenneth Gainwell series. I think Gainwell's earned enough with the way he's played. He's now had 3 really good games, like really, really good.
Give him a whole series.
Yeah. I would say, like, for every 2 series Warren gets, give Gainwell an entire series.
Great.
And don't do anything different. Like, obviously game situation dictates, how often you pass versus, how often you run. But assuming that it's a 1-score game, either way, you're going to run your offense as you would normally run your offense. And so
don't create these great tendencies for people to pick up.
Right. I think that's the problem, is that they want to run certain plays or certain concepts with certain players. Mm-hmm. And while, yes, you want to do that to a certain extent, it's better and less predictable if you are able to run specific concepts with it doesn't matter who's out there. And I understand it's not ever going to be one, like it's going to be this way or that way, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, let's take a break, and when we come back, we do have we have to talk about the quarterback situation because Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, Aaron Rodgers will be playing on Sunday against the Bills, so we need to talk about the quarterback situation and start to look ahead to the Bills as well. So let's take a break, and we'll come right back, and we'll get into all of that right after this.
At DK Pittsburgh Sports, we take pride in coverage that connects our city's fans to their favorite teams. Now, that connection's stronger than ever. Introducing our all-new state-of-the-art app. Find expert inside reporting and original podcasts. Check live box scores. Track the latest stats. Chat it up with our community of thousands of fans, all in one place. The new app from DK Pittsburgh Sports. Coverage that connects.
Hey guys, welcome back to the Southside Beat here on DK Pittsburgh Sports. The football season, we are now beyond Thanksgiving. Heading into the holiday season, heading into the Christmas season. So it's a perfect time to check out the latest odds, futures, and win totals on the FanDuel Sportsbook. And if you think the Steelers are now, since the Ravens lost, have a good chance of getting back ahead into first place in the AFC North and to try to win the division, then lock in your bet today, because whatever your game, the FanDuel Sportsbook delivers the latest lines, futures, and specials so you can join in on all the action. Aaron Rodgers has been completely clear to play. There's no questionable designation. He will be wearing the brace or whatever he's wearing on his left wrist with that has the small fracture in one of the bones in his wrist, but no injury designation. He is cleared to play. He will start against the Bills. There's with the way he had played the couple weeks heading into missing the game last week, And then with the way Rudolph played in the second half, there was definitely a feeling in the fan base that how much faith is there in Aaron Rodgers going forward?
Sure.
And
I'm the youngest fella in the league.
Right. I'm curious to see your perspective on this entire situation, because I feel like some people are just wanting to completely pull the plug. They've lost all faith. But I think that there might be others who think that, okay, he had a couple of bad games. He's now had a week off, not only because of the injury, but maybe the week off kind of serves as a second bye for him, that he can kind of recharge the batteries a little bit. Now he can be a little bit more, play with a little bit more confidence in the pocket, whatever it is. I'm curious to see where you're at with Aaron Rodgers' performance as the Steelers quarterback.
Well, before someone chimes in, it's not Will Howard time, guys.
Gosh, enough with that. Enough with the Will Howard stuff.
Just go to Will Howard. No, I'm done with that. Good for Rudolph for coming in relief 2 weeks ago and performing well. But I thought he was pretty bad in this game too. I mean, yes,
I was not a fan.
You got to complete some deep balls. I mean, there were big plays left on the field.
The one thing, there was one play, and this is not it was not all on Mason, and that's why I'm not putting the loss in Chicago on Mason.
No, I would have liked the chances better with Rodgers.
I would have too.
Who knows? I know he's playing bad, and we'll get into that. But
I would have too. But with Mason, it wasn't just the deep balls to me, because there were only 3 or 4 in the entire game.
Right.
But like there was one play in the final 2-minute drive where he completed it to Calvin, where Calvin ran the quick little under route, like the quick little in breaker, and Rudolph hit him, and like Calvin's tackled immediately. When you watch the all 22, Calvin is the number 1 receiver on the outside in a trips formation. The number 2 and the number 3 on the inside of him are literally running to clear space for Calvin. That's all they're doing. They're not doing anything else.
They're opening things up, yeah.
That ball has got to be literally caught and immediately let go in order for that play to work. I mean, when I say catch and throw, it is catch, and that ball's got to be out almost before your front foot hits.
Like, don't even get the laces,
Don't even get the laces. It's it's almost like a screen, almost. And it was very, very much a catch, set, turn, throw, and it was way too slow.
Just
way too slow.
Yeah.
And because of that, because when you look and you see
that's
when
probably
Calvin,
a Rodgers play. Rodgers is like a shortstop turn, and
exactly because he looks like a second. Yeah, it looks like a second baseman or shortstop turn. Stepping on second and making that. Yeah, that's not what that was. And when you look at when Calvin first breaks on the route, he's got space. He catches that ball whenever he's on his second or third step out of the break. There's room for him to run. Now, would it have been like a 15 or 20-yard gain? No, probably not. But would it have been more than 2? Probably. Yeah, it probably been 7 or 8 yards. It would have been a nice little gain. You move to the middle of the field, you keep the ball rolling, you're well ahead of the chains. You expand your playbook and what you can do, especially it's just too slow. So there was not enough of Rudolph that I saw in the game in which I'm like, I want to give him the reins going forward. So
I think that kind of stuff is who he is.
Exactly.
He's kind of mechanical.
It's a backup quarterback.
Right.
It's a backup quarterback. He like a lot of the time he's going to be able to run the play. He's going to be able to go through progressions. He's going to stand tall in the pocket. Just a lot of it is not going to be spectacular or extraordinary. It's none
of it's going to be special.
And that's what I'm like. Every now and then he'll be able to make a throw where you're like, "Whoa, that was a great play by Mason."
Great throw, good.
But he's a quality backup quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with that, with being able to come in and provide competent play. Nothing wrong with that. I just don't want people to hear that and think that it's insulting Mason Rudolph, because that's how some people take it.
I know.
So going forward with Aaron, when we know that there can be, even at 41 years old, there can be special. We've also seen some signs of that's not good. Like stuff that we saw him do with the Jets in 24, where first read's not there, he's trying to bail. Mm-hmm. And that's got to stop. So I'm curious to see, not to swing back because I know it kind of interrupted you, but what does he need to do in order to get back into it?
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I think having such an early bye week hasn't done him or maybe this team any favors, and we're starting to see some of that. And I hate, this is just because on top of my head, and I really am angry at the NFL for this, that they're going to make the Steelers play back-to-back games with a rest disadvantage. I mean, that should never happen. That should never happen. Never happen.
It's bad.
That's really bad. And they're really important games late in the year. Anyway, that's not Rodgers' fault.
That's not.
I was very unimpressed with the last time we saw Rodgers. And I think it's safe to question where is he at in his career, in his season, in his time with the Steelers. But I'm also optimistic that he did get this break, and very open to I'm expecting him to be better than we saw him last. And the way you phrase the question is almost like predicting. I don't want to predict because I think it's highly unpredictable. I mean, in this business, we do predict things. I mean, it's not like I'm avoiding that. It's just when we saw him last, it was rough. I think the time off should do him good. And I would have leaned towards playing Rudolph in that game. But he's got to, both of them, either of them have to test the middle of the field to some degree. And there's some unseriousness to Rodgers quarterbacking post-snap if the first read's not there.
Yeah, that was probably, and the thing that Aaron even said himself that really kind of was a major concern to me was I think it was last week. It wasn't this past week whenever he was talking with the media. It was before the Bears game. And I don't remember what the question was about, but he said something about when he started feeling a lot better, he started trying to do more, trying to make more plays. And I can
in a negative way.
Well, like trying to extend more and get outside the pocket and make plays that way. We didn't see that throughout the first 6 weeks of the season very much. And Aaron even said his back felt a little tight, and it wasn't anything like it was an injury. It's just, you're 41 years old. You don't feel as loose as you used to whenever you were, 21 or 31. But I can go back to the game in Cincinnati, and I point to that being the first time Aaron felt good, because in that game he was all over the place, and I'm not talking about it in a bad way. I'm meaning in a good way.
Yeah,
I remember the first time he rolled out of the pocket and made a throw and got a completion out of it. I'm like, that's MVP Aaron. Mm-hmm. That's that guy. And he did it 4 more times in the game, including the touchdown pass to Pat Freiermuth to put them up late. And I'm like, if that's the Aaron they're going to get the rest of the way, look out. Yeah, I understand they lost that game, but look out.
So we know that's still in him.
We know it's still in him, but the problem is that it's he started to. It's the lack of trust in the pass protection has made him want to get to that faster, and you're also starting to realize he's 41 and he can't escape the way he used to. This is what Russell Wilson was doing last year.
That really worries me, that part.
That's the problem, is that there has to be a more concerted effort to try to play within structure in the pocket. Now, I don't know how that's going to look this week, because Andres Pete's going to be starting at left tackle because Broderick Jones is out with the neck injury. Mm-hmm. You're going to have your other 4 linemen, and the right side has been pretty good for the most part with McCormick and Faltano. Yeah, Frazier's been great. Sam Allou's played really well the past couple of weeks, ever since he came back from injury too. So
might throw an extra year on his contract.
Seriously, he's looked a lot better this year than he did in 24. But I am also concerned, going forward, why I think if the Steelers can get the version of Rodgers that they were getting in weeks 1 through 6, if you can pair that with, I guess, the way the run game has kind of been trending. I think what that offense can do. Yeah.
And the O-line as a whole, I think, is trending up.
Yes. I am also, this is again, goes back to what we were talking about at the start of the show. I don't know what to expect. I don't know what we're going to get. I don't know what version of Rodgers we're going to get on Sunday.
Yeah, and it kind of applies to both teams. I know it's getting close to prediction time and all that stuff. And frankly, I went into this game even watching the Thursday nighter and the Bills kind of getting embarrassed and all the sacks and boy, the
8 sacks.
Right. And I don't think their roster is even particularly good outside the quarterback. But I went in even watching that game going, Bills are going to bounce back than Pittsburgh and they're going to win. You know, they're in a better place. They're a better team. They're a tier ahead. But there's so many variables now. I mean, you mentioned Broderick Jones being out. They have both their tackles out.
Bills are without both of their offensive tackles, yeah.
That's horrendous news if we were covering the Bills. And Kincaid is unbelievably valuable to those guys. And they have no outside receivers. And
none.
Can the Steelers stop the run? They took away the Bears' best aspect, the run. Well, I don't know if they took it away. The Bears chose to throw all over them, like you said. But, right.
No, but I don't think there was ever a time. I don't think there was ever a time in which Swift or Monangai were like taking over the game.
No, and certainly not Josh Jacobs or Jonathan Taylor either.
No.
Yeah,
so yeah, and so and really this has been true of the Bills for a while. I don't have the exact record in front of me, but it's like if James Cook gets 100 yards rushing, they win.
Oh, I know. I think they're like, yeah.
It's a ridiculous
number. I
have
it somewhere, but it's 100% true.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous number. If James Cook gets going and he gets to 100 yards, they don't lose.
That's And that could be a chicken or egg thing too, but
it can be
because way better at home than on the road.
That's true. And this game is not being played at Highmark in Orchard Park. This game is being played in Pittsburgh at Acrisure Stadium. So that is a big thing. And then that Bills defense at the same time.
It's not very impressive.
No.
Against the run.
Oh no,
really
their run defense. I was like literally going through it. And I'm looking at the numbers. I mean, I can pull up the numbers right now. The numbers are just horrendous against the run. They are.
No, they're like worse in the league. Yeah. I mean,
the
pass defense is inflated because nobody throws against them.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, because they have the number 1 ranked pass defense in the league and the 13th overall ranked defense, but they're 30th against the run, giving up 149 yards a game. They are allowing 5.5 yards per play, which is not very good.
Terrible.
EPA per rush, they're 31st. So they're even worse in terms of like the advanced analytics. And that.
Oh yeah.
So, and a big part of that I would wonder about on top of that is they are primarily a too high team. So they don't bring
small.
Yeah. And they are third in the league in dime usage. Third.
I know. And that's how they want to play. They wanted to be nickel only really since McDermott's been there. So take it even a step further. Darnell Washington will be way more than anyone on the defense that Buffalo puts out there, with the exception of one player. Yeah. And I'm operating under the assumption that he's 313 pounds. He may even be bigger than that.
Yeah.
And then how about this? When Buffalo faces 12 or 13 personnel, they allow 6.7 yards per rush. Yeah. That's all they're going to get. Like the Steelers are going to outweigh them by a bazillion pounds in this game when they have the football.
What the Steelers need to do in this game, this needs to be one of those games where I feel like we have both said this multiple times this season, but it might not apply more than in this game. But this might just need to be a run pass game.
I even made the joke, I think, last time we got together. Like, everyone complains about run, pass. I don't care if it's run. You know what I mean? And
they even had against the Bears, and the Bears, by the way, much better run defense. Like, much better run defense. Yeah. They had the one, what was it, with 3rd and 7, and they ran it, and Gainwell, converted, but then it was called back, and it was short, and then the officials missed a face mask or something like that. The Steelers can run the ball if they want to. Now, I think the issue I have with the run game, to go back to it, and this is kind of my final thing on the run game, outside of the rotation, the commitment to running wide zone is just a little over the top. Mm-hmm. When they run between the tackles, they run so much better.
Oh, yeah.
So much better running between the tackles.
I like to see the linemen pulling, and
yeah,
I mean, they're better at it.
Yes.
This goes back to Matt Canada years, right.
Yeah, so I don't. This needs to be a game in which they try to play bully ball, and especially again, they had the two long drives against the Bears. They ended up winning time of possession pretty much because of that. Mm-hmm. If you really want to beat Josh Allen, keep him on the sideline. Like, that's really the best way to go about it. So it's.
And I know people, and they're right. We just saw the Chargers without their 2-star offensive tackles, and Steelers still couldn't win that game. Great point. Yeah. I don't have a counter for that, but I would hope, I'm not going to assure it, that maybe you learned something from that.
Yeah. Well, I think the big thing to take away from that Chargers game too is that what's the reason why they lost that game? Was it because the defense didn't play well? No. The defense actually played pretty well in that game.
Right.
The offense was
hit
terrible.
Herbert a lot, and the ball came out super fast. But
they pressured him a lot in that game.
Beat up, right.
If they can get that kind of pressure under Josh Allen in this game, and they prevent James Cook from running,
they'll win.
They should win.
They should win. Yeah,
they should win. It just depends on what they do on the offensive side of the ball. So this has got to be one of those games in which they've got to try to literally assault them on the ground.
Yeah,
like that. That's
start. Don't even hide it. Right. I hear you. Extra linemen, everything.
Do it all. All right, let's do prediction really quick. Matt, who do you got for the game?
I took the Steelers 27-26. What I feel strong about is I'll take the points. I mean, if we were doing that, I think it's going to be a really close game. I can make an argument for both. If I were to do a power rank right now, I would have Buffalo ahead of the Steelers. I'm a real big believer in teams that have extra rest. I just really dislike the injury situation for Buffalo from their perspective.
I do too. And I've been, it's been kind of going through the back of my mind because I said at the beginning of the show, I did not have a prediction for this game. Mm-hmm. So I'm coming up with this on the spot. I also don't like the Bills' injury situation. I think it could be detrimental to them for sure.
Yeah.
I cannot trust the Steelers team yet. Every time I feel like they are starting to turn a corner, whether it be because this past week is a perfect example because while they hadn't been like winning a whole bunch of games, like win, their defense had been consistently playing well. Even in a loss to the Chargers, their defense has been playing well. And if their defense plays well, they stand a really good chance of winning
they'll be good.
Yeah. And then they turn around and that happens.
Yeah.
Where you just have so many failures across the board, whether it be execution or specifically schematics.
I was going to say you get out-schemed a lot.
Passing
it, yeah.
I can't trust it, so I'm actually going to pick the Bills in this game. I can't.
Totally get it.
I don't think the Bills run away with this one, even though I could see if this is one of those games where Josh Allen is just like, I've had enough.
Oh, and he scored 6 touchdowns again, or
and
something.
he just no, seriously, because that's the one wild card that the Bills have that the Steelers don't. And when you face any team that's got a Patrick Mahomes, a Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow did it last night.
Yeah,
like he wasn't like amazing for 60 minutes, but absolutely made an impact on that game, and that Joe Flacco can't. And that's the one wild card that if Josh Allen just decides to put the Superman cape on, it's over. Like, it does not matter what happens. I'm going with the Bills. I can't help myself. I
totally get it.
But it would not surprise me if the Steelers win the game. It just will not surprise me one way or the other.
And if one team has a double-digit victory or a blowout, it'll be Buffalo that won.
Agree.
I agree with that. Yeah, right.
I don't think the Steelers get into a potential shootout with the Bills and win. Just don't see that happening.
That's why I don't like the numbers I picked, 27-26. I think it's going to be a super close game.
Yeah, if it's going to be a game the Steelers win, it's most likely going to be low scoring. I want to say low scoring in like today's NFL. I mean like 23-20, 20-17, something along those lines.
I'm not talking them like Houston did.
Right, and it's something like that. If this gets into a game in which both teams score over 30 points, I don't trust the Steelers to win that game. I just don't. They don't have the firepower that they need. Not that the Bills have a bunch of firepower on the outside.
They don't really either, right?
They don't either. But yeah, because I mean, Shakur is like their top receiver.
And Kincaid is super important for that reason. And Allen's splits with and without Kincaid are really extreme.
Yeah. There's a lot of reasons to not pick the Bills in this game, but again, I'm going with the Josh Allen factor.
Yeah, that helps the trust factor. Give me the best quarterback maybe on the planet,
Yeah, absolutely. Because of all the Bills' issues this year, and they absolutely have issues, he's not been one of them.
No. Maybe his numbers are a little down or whatever, but it's not his fault.
He's just turned the ball over a little bit more often than he did last year, but it's not been like it's like
he's taking more sacks. There's been more negative plays, sacks and turnovers.
Yeah, but overall, he is without Josh Allen, that team doesn't sniff the playoffs.
No, they win 5 games this year.
Yeah, they're a bad football team without him at quarterback. So, all right, guys, appreciate you tuning in. We will try to be back next week as well. Sorry we didn't get a show in last week. It was kind of a hectic week with schedules not aligning and everything. So, appreciate you guys so much. We'll be back next week to talk about this game. And then, of course, look forward to a very, very, very important, regardless of whether the Steelers win or lose, very important game against the Ravens at in Baltimore at M&T Bank Stadium there. Yeah, so that's going to be my least favorite stadium in the entire league. It is the worst in every way possible.
Really?
It is the worst. The locker room, you cannot walk around without stepping on players' bags. It is the worst stadium in the world. So, I don't know the world, but it's in the NFL. It's the worst that I've been to, and I've been to 20 now.
I remember Dale used to say he hated it too.
It's the worst.
It's bad for your guys' job, and
it's bad for everything. It's bad for the players. It's not a good stadium for if you're the road team. All right, catch you guys later. We'll see you.